Max, PJ was telling us that he's kind of sick and tired of hearing the Fire Nico chants. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not pleasant to hear, but I can't really comment much on that, to be honest. I don't really want to comment on that. So
How do you guys, no pressure to comment on obviously, but how do you guys go about just kind of tuning that out in the locker room? And like, what's the message from coach about that maybe?
yeah, I mean, we're professionals, and our job is to come out here and perform regardless of the circumstances that we're in. We get paid a lot of money just to play basketball, so for us, we have little things like that may be distracting and whatnot. It shouldn't affect us. We're professionals. We're the best at what we do in this sport. So distractions are going to be there, and we got to be able to move forward and move past them and not let those affect us.
PJ kind of said the offense was terrible throughout the game. You guys had 23 fast break points in the first half. I think that was the most throughout the season. You only scored like 5 in the second half between the two halves in terms of getting out the transition.
Yeah, I just think the third quarter really hurt us, to be honest. If you look here, we lost the third quarter by 16 points. So, that's going to hurt us when we come out of the break like that with no energy. Just us as a group, we have to do a better job. We're already down a lot of guys, and we need to provide that energy for ourselves. There isn't really a lot of reinforcements coming at the moment, for this game in particular. So we got to leave it all out there on the floor, and we got to come out with a better sense of urgency in that second half to start at least. And we won the fourth quarter, but that third quarter is what lost us the game.
It's hard to create that energy when there's not much time to get a breather there on the bench just because you got so many guys coming in.
You could say it's more difficult, but there's no excuse for that. So we have 8 guys, and those 8 guys need to provide energy. So it's tough when we don't have as many, but we can't sit here and say that we didn't win the game because we don't have enough players. It's not an excuse, and that's not acceptable. So,
how good was it to have PJ back out there?
Oh yeah, it's great. He's obviously a phenomenal player for this team and provides a lot of problems for the opposing team offensively, and defensively as well. So, it was good for him to get out there, and 32 minutes in his first game back with 29 points is pretty impressive, for someone of his caliber, especially. He's such a great player, and so we expect that. And but still, great to have him back for sure.
Even so, you're still undersized out there. How tough is it to put up a wall against teams?
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We're not necessarily the tallest team, and, that makes rebounding and rim protecting a little bit more difficult. But, again, we can't sit here, come up here and sit here after every loss and say, hey, we're not tall enough to win games, right? So that's not acceptable, and we're still just going to, move past this and go forward and continue to try and win as many games as possible, because at this point in the season, every game matters, especially for seeding. So,
Max, what helps you mentally reset after a game and get back in the game the next day?
I think first and foremost, reevaluating, yourself, how you felt you could have done better, what you did well, what you want to continue to do. I think film's a big part of it as well. Sometimes we'll watch it as a team. Sometimes you watch it individually with coaches or individually on your own as well. I think doing that it's really just self-evaluation. And then, you go from there. You obviously keep continuing the things you did well and find things you want to improve on. And, every day is a new day, in the NBA especially. So
Get away from the game, though, and come back? Personally, like, what do you...
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't take what happens in this arena and bring it home necessarily. So when I leave the arena after this, I'm not going to necessarily be hard stuck thinking about the game. There's already enough stress in this to deal with that. So you need to be able to compartmentalize the game, and there's a time and a place where you need to lock in when you step through those doors, and then when you leave, there's a time and a place to enjoy yourself, but also staying locked in on other things as well.
Just to follow up on that, there's a lot about this business that people don't necessarily understand. Coming to a new city, I think Jason Kidd mentioned you're in a hotel maybe. Just talk about, the mental toughness that this situation has kind of presented to you and how you think it's going to help you as a person in your career. Like, what are you learning from this moment in Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, getting traded is never easy. One thing I've learned throughout this process is how easy it is to use excuses. And I think, for me personally, there's a lot of excuses that I could make, about this whole process, right? But for me, it's just important to continue to focus on what I can and be disciplined. I think that's the most important thing. Coming to a new city and staying in a hotel for a little while and trying to figure out your teammates. There's all excuses you can make that are half true, but at the end of the day, you're not being real with yourself, right? So you still need to be a professional. You still need to produce. That's what we get paid to do. That's what we're supposed to do as professionals in this game. So it's tough for sure, but there is no, you can't use that as a fallback when things aren't going well. So
What was working for you offensively today?
yeah.
Carry that over into the future.
Confidence was there today for sure from the work that